I love the hustle, man.
What is up, everybody? This is William from Before the Billions over here on the Black Man in Tech channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Today I have a special treat for you guys. All right, so I have an interview today with JaMarko Ethridge. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and let me go ahead and introduce JaMarko. JaMarko, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing all right, William. How about yourself?
Doing well, doing well. So, JaMarko, I wanted to interview you. You know, we work at the same company and everything, and so can you just tell me a little bit about your role that you're currently in now?
So currently, I am the I am the Agile Scrum Master for our web and mobile team and our sales gear team. So I basically teach the Scrum framework to both teams. Kind of help them remove any impediments that they have, host different types of ceremonies that they have, and just try to help the team work more efficiently in solving complex problems. That's about it.
Awesome. So, can you kind of explain a little bit deeper into what a Scrum Coach does on a day-to-day basis?
So on a day-to-day basis, a Scrum Coach basically, I'll just take for an example my team, right? So both of my team works in 2-week sprints. So every day we have a daily Scrum meeting, and during that daily Scrum meeting, we talk about we try to keep it to 15 minutes. We talk about what we did yesterday, what we're going to do today, and if we have any blockers. And so during that meeting, I kind of listen to what everybody has done yesterday, today, and if they have any blockers, and try to push different functionalities and even the software itself ahead to make sure that there are no blockers. By being the Scrum Coach, also we host different ceremonies for our teams. So one of my team, we do demos where if we bring out any new features within the software, we'll demo it for the entire team. We have backlog refinement, sprint planning meetings, and most importantly, I think one of the most important meetings that we have is a retrospective. And so during our retrospective meeting, we just sit down and kind of talk about how the sprint went. If what we could do to improve to make everybody's life a little bit more efficient and effective for everybody, and just basically talk about what happened during the sprint. If something didn't get pushed out because we promised to push it out, why didn't it get pushed out? And if it was just a good sprint. So far, we've been having a pretty good sprint. So that's basically like the day-to-day for me.
Okay. Well, see, so would you consider a Scrum Coach or a Scrum Master to be an extremely technical role?
I would say yes and no. I am not as technical as I used to be, but sometimes I do majority of the times I do enjoy listening to everything that's going on. And by me being a little bit technical, I can definitely understand what's going on. So I would say it is not a extremely technical role, but it's good to have that technical background for it.
All right, cool. So let me ask this: do you think that people who are trying to become a Scrum Master or a Scrum Coach, do you think that what path should they be on in order to become a Scrum Master? Like what steps are do they need to take?
So I would say the first step that you probably need to take is take some type of leadership role when it comes to your team, and not leadership as far as the work that everybody does and trying to crank out all of the work and help everybody with all of the work, but take that leadership role as to kind of gathering the team and just keeping the team motivated. Kind of take on the what do we call it in the office? I would just say like the motivator role. You know, when you have those lunches, just be that person to say, hey, how everybody feeling today? Anybody want to go out to lunch today, and kind of chit chat outside of work and just kind of keep everybody in the flow and not hover on them and hover around them like a manager would and just say, is this done? Is that done? Is this done? What's the status on this? What's the status of that? Be kind of personal with the person. I think that is a good way to just get your feet wet into understanding what is to come when becoming a Scrum Master.
Okay, cool. Now, is it required that you have a degree?
It is not required that you have a degree, but it is highly required that you have the experience and you take the certification course. So the certification course I went through scrum.org. Yeah, it's there are courses out there that you could take that are kind of help everybody into understanding Scrum and Agile and how all of that works.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so how long have you been a Scrum Master?
So I've been a Scrum Master for about 3.5, probably almost 4 years. And it's kind of funny because I was actually voluntold that I was going to be that Scrum Master role. So,
okay. So let's go ahead and get into, what is it like from, becoming a Scrum Master from where you actually started? So can you kind of tell me like how you started getting on this path to becoming a Scrum Master?
Yeah. So I actually started on our help desk at Randstad. I've been with the company for about a little bit over 10 years. And I actually started there on the help desk. Once I graduated from college in 2004. And once I graduated in 2004, I just kind of had little odd jobs, but I always wanted to get into technology, right? I have a degree in information technology and marketing. And so I ended up taking an intern at the Department of Information Technology in Fulton County, just to kind of get some experience under me because I was having a difficulty getting jobs in the tech space. And so once I took that intern, I did that for about 4 to 6 months. And I actually applied with Randstad for them to place me somewhere, right? And instead of placing me somewhere else, they just brought me in-house. I started out on the help desk. I became the help desk lead. Then I became the supervisor of the help desk. And I just knew that there was more tech out there that I wanted to understand, especially within the business. And so then I just networked my way into a business analyst role on our back office finance side, where I worked with PeopleSoft. I had 0 PeopleSoft skills. And so, I took the PeopleSoft courses, had some good mentors on the team. So I was an analyst there doing PeopleSoft, and we dealt with billing and credit and all of that good stuff. And one day I was not at work for my birthday, and our product owner at the time got a promotion. And so that bumped our Scrum Coach up at that time to the product owner. And since I wasn't at work, I was volunteered to become the Scrum Coach. And so when I got back, they was like, hey, you're going to be the new Scrum Coach for the contracts to cash team. And I was like, great. That means I don't get to do my BA or technical support work, right? But I was wrong. So I ended up doing dual roles for the team for about 2.5, almost 3 years. And then the opportunity came to just be the full-time Scrum Coach for the sales gear and the web and mobile team. And I jumped on it. I applied, interviewed, knocked it out of the park, and here I am.
Okay. So you said that you were a BA. Before we volunteered to become a Scrum Master. I had Kim on here to do a interview to tell us about BAs. Mm-hmm. So it's good to hear that this is like the progression. So that when you say experience, you had BA experience before becoming a Scrum Master as well. So, yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about leadership, right? So you were discussing that that's one of the skills that people need in order to get on the path to becoming a Scrum Master. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about some skills or how to acquire leadership skills?
So leadership skills, how do you think? First, you just have to have that confidence within yourself to say, hey, I can take on this task and I can see this task from beginning to end, right? Because I feel like once you complete a task and then you spearhead it from the beginning all the way to the end, that gives you some sense of confidence, right? And then I think that people start seeing that, hey, he's willing or she's willing to take on these roles and they can see these things through. Once people start seeing that, then, they'll ask you certain questions, or uh, they'll just commend you on what a good job you've done. And once you start getting those kudos, I'll call them, once you start getting those kudos and people see that you're willing to jump out there and, whether it's right or wrong, I don't think anything is everything is a learning opportunity, right? So whether things go smoothly or they don't, and you are willing to take accountability if it messes up, if it doesn't break, if it does break, you're just willing to be out in forefront and say, hey, this is me. I did that. The team did that. I am in the position to say, yes, if it went right, we all did it. But if it went wrong, I did it. Just being ready to accept whatever comes with that, being ready to jump out and just be ready for whatever is placed in front of you. Jump out and take every opportunity that's out there. I know that is something that I did. I knew that I did not want to be on the help desk for forever and a day. And so I allowed myself to go to my manager and say, hey, what are you doing today? Right. And so once I say, what are you doing today? Then they see that I'm willing to take on extra responsibilities. And once I'm willing to take on those extra responsibilities, then they feel confident in order to just give me more. And then once I decided to take on more, they feel like a little bit more is off their back. And then I think that people kind of see that you are willing to go above and beyond. I'm the person that I don't really like to tell people. I'm kind of like, let me lead by example. So I'm going to jump out there and do it.
Okay. Yeah, I like that leading by example. I try to do the same thing. Before the Billions channel, I may post myself working out or something like that, leading by example, telling people like, hey, you know what? Taking care of your health is extremely important.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's get into a little bit more about you, okay? So I wanted to ask you, so how did you grow up, and did you actually think that you would be able to get into this position that you're in now?
So I grew up in Griffin, Georgia, man. I went to all of my school in there, elementary, middle school, high school. I love the small town that I'm from. I went to college in Louisiana. Actually, when I graduated high school, I did not even think about going to college. Like I played basketball, and so I saw one of my teammates' father came into one of our classes, and he was so happy because his son got accepted into Morehouse. And the competitive guy that I am, right? I was like, I can do that. And I just started applying, man, and ended up getting a scholarship to go to Grambling. I come from a single parent household. It was just my mom and 5 other kids. And I was raised by my grandmother until I was in the 4th grade. Then I moved with my mother, kind of bounced around from house to house. I had, just the typical story. Went to college, and I never really thought about, what would be next in my life as a young guy, right? I just always knew that, hey, I'm going to make $60,000 when I get older, because for some reason when I was young, that was the number that I just put in my head. And so once I kind of got into the IT space, I started to realize that, you can make way more than $60,000, right? And so, but I did understand that I like to look at things like levels, and I did understand that, hey, you're doing tech support, so that's kind of, at the foundation, right? That's kind of the foundation that everybody needs to have, but it's also not the most lucrative. And so I had my sights set on bigger goals and dreams and stuff. And I've never put myself as a money-driven guy, but when you're working for somebody else, then what else drives you? Because you don't like to just get up and go somewhere just because you want to get up and go for somebody else anyway.
Mhm.
And so I once I left the help desk and I started becoming a BA, then I was like, oh, so okay, I can make this amount of money. I never would have thought I would have made that amount of money. And I was like, well, I did tell myself that I was going to make that money a long time ago. And then I made that money and then it kept growing. And then I started talking to people, just meeting different people. And um, I actually saw one of the ladies that we currently work with now, who's a real good friend of mine. And she drove a Porsche. And I was like, wow, you drive a Porsche? She was like, yeah. She said, you can drive a Porsche too. And come to find out, she didn't have one Porsche, but she had two. And so I was I was amazed by that at that time back then. And I just told myself, hey, you're gonna work hard and you're gonna get to where you need to be. And even now, I don't feel like I am. I still have a lot of growing to do, and I don't know if being a Scrum coach is, where I am going to stay. But I know it is I appreciate the opportunity, and I know, like, for right now, this part of my life, I never would have imagined that I would just be a Scrum coach. I didn't even know what a Scrum coach was until we went agile. So, I never would have imagined, man, not at all, that I would be in the position that I am now.
Man, that is awesome. So you said earlier that you not, as a young guy, you didn't really think about what's next, but now, that you're, you're growing up. Do you think about the future now, and what do you think your future holds?
So I think about the future now. I actually think more about not really my future, but I think more about like my younger cousins and my daughter and like younger kids' future, because I push hard and I push hard and I push hard. I push hard to get people into going the tech direction, right? So I try to. I don't want them to have to go through a lot of the hurdles and hoops and stuff that I had to jump through in order to get to where I am right now. And so I kind of like try to help them jump on the right track and skip a lot of parts. But for me, man, I don't know. I love to learn a lot of different things. And like right now I am, I'm the Scrum coach for the web team and the search and mobile team. But I sit in, the web team and the sales gear team. I never knew anything about sales gear until I became the Scrum coach. So I like to sit in on a lot of the sales gear meetings and kind of understand what is going on, even though I don't have to do it, because I do feel that, like sales gear, I know Salesforce. I'm actually taking some Salesforce classes. Sales gear, all of those things that I don't know, I still like to learn and pick up on them. I don't want to be a developer with them. Being a developer with it is just so tedious for me. But I could always sharpen my BA skills. That's just something that I like to hold in my back pocket. I could see myself leading Scrum coaches and managing or directing Scrum coaches in my future.
Okay. But yeah, so let's go ahead and do you have anything that you want to plug, or anything that you want to tell anybody on this recording about yourself, or do you have any social media that you want me to put on here, anything like that?
So let me see. I didn't even think about that. Definitely, man. You can put my social media on there. My social media is mt_Ethridge, ETHERIDGE. I am definitely into you become what you think, positive thinking. I'm definitely into health and cycling and working out, and I do fitness competitions where I have done fitness competitions like all of those things, man. I would like to plug a good friend of mine, Sophia Amin. She does a blog herself. It's called So Queenly, where she just, she gives positive energy to the world. She, we used to do a Facebook Live, and we talked about losing a parent because she lost her mom, and I lost my mom, and we have the same feelings. And we talked about grief, and we talked about parenting, we talked about work, we talked about what it feels like to be in a dark space as a man, what it feels like to be in a dark space as a woman, how to help each other, all of those things, man. So y'all be free, feel free to check her out.
Yeah, most definitely. And also one last thing is that when we had a discussion before, you were talking about how you have a mentorship group that you are part of as well. Do you want to discuss that as well before we close out?
Yes, sure. So Randstad has this program called Transcend Program. It's ran by the director, Keith Brown. Excellent brother, man. You should have him on the show too. But Transcend helps young adults and older adults who have had difficulty in the workforce and wants to kind of change career paths and get into tech, get into accounting, get into business services, whatever it is. And so they go through this program, and I think it's like a 6 to 8 week program where they teach them, life skills and help them. It depends on what part of the program you want to be in. I know some of them do the tech side of it. I usually get all of those guys, and they go through, they learn SQL, they talk about Java, they go through HTML, they do like a lot of programming and all of that good stuff. They just kind of give them the basics of it, and they set them up with a mentor. And so what happens is I volunteered to be a mentor for that program. I have been a mentor for 3 out of the 4 cohorts. And, we just basically help them with interviews and kind of answer any questions that they have, and kind of give them confidence and let them know what it feels like to be in certain spaces, how to conduct yourself in certain spaces, man. And then they have this big graduation ceremony at the end where they allow the mentor and mentee to kind of give kudos to each other and give words of encouragement, man. And I actually still keep in touch with the 3 guys that came through the program that I mentored, and it's great, man. It's great. I can definitely get you some more information about that, William, because we would love for you to be a part of it too.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, so JaMarko, I really do appreciate you coming on here to the Black Men in Tech channel. Most definitely would love to have you on for a future video. We can just talk about a specific topic or anything like that. But yeah, JaMarko, Ethridge, thank you so much. And I'm about to go ahead and close it on out. All right, everybody. So that was another great interview that we had on the Black Man in Tech channel. Please go ahead and support and check out JaMarko and all of his endeavors. Hopefully you guys liked it. Please go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And then also hit that bell notification icon if you want to be notified whenever I make new videos on YouTube. Please go ahead and leave me a comment down below as to how you thought this interview went. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I really do appreciate it.